right, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the East County Sports Report. Dave, the champs are here. The Granite Hills Eagles representing CIF champs. Today, joining us for our football previews and our East County Sports Report, Maxwell Turner, the veteran running back, and Jerselle Ramirez, also a CIF champion from last year's team. These guys know about winning, Dave. The Eagles don't lose too often these days, and they got oh man, I'll tell you what. We'll ask these guys about it, Dave. Last year's season was so impressive. The undefeated regular season run and the playoff victories. It ended, unfortunately, got to the state playoff. But Dave, for these guys right now, the schedule this season, it only got tougher, but that's okay. The Eagles got a great program with great players coming up. We're going to ask these guys to tell us about a few of their friends on the team. But go ahead and talk to us, Dave. Max Turner and Jerselle Ramirez joining us.
Yeah, the first thing I wanted to mention, since he's not on the show right now, I was talking with Coach Cobbs, and I said, "What beats winning a state championship?" And I said, "There's got to be nothing better." Believe it or not, he said, "Yeah, it was a pretty wild game, but he said he will never be able to top the 3-game stretch that you guys had with Helix, Carlsbad, and Lincoln."
Yeah.
I'm sure that you both agree that that was a very rocky road on the way to the championship.
Yeah, of course.
And was there?
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
And going into each one of those games, did you have the same mindset that you'd been carrying on through the regular season, that you were going to beat these teams, even though they were? I mean, let's face it, in a couple of those games, you were underdogs, I believe. And did that just fuel your fire?
Well, we knew going into it, like the whole season, everyone was gonna have us as losing because we're just Granite Hills Eagles. We don't have like I'd say background every other school has. So yeah, we knew that we were gonna be underdogs, and yeah, that fueled us for I think our whole season, right? We just wanted to win. We wanted to show everyone what Granite Hills Eagles are made of.
Now, with that being said, do you feel, Max, that you guys have a bullseye on your back now that you have won a state championship?
100%, right? Every team wants to beat us. Every team wants to be number one in San Diego, right? But I would say that us as a program, we're looking to just keep winning.
And going further, could you guys name either yourself or Jerselle? Could you name some younger talent that has joined the squad moving forward? If you do know some that are going to be on this, let's just say they're going to be in some of those great packages that Coach Cops puts them into.
Yeah, Jerselle, you want to go first with that, D? We know you and Parker Vance, right? Showing it up on the back end in the defensive secondary. Tell us about some of the defense.
Yeah, of course. Our defense does have a couple new looks in the secondary. Like Jordan Glaze transferring was pretty big, a hole to fill, but we have Colton Krasensky and Uriah Schutza both going in to rotate in at our Eagle spot. And then we moved in a corner. It's either going to be Kai or Rocky. They're both incoming juniors, so they're both ready to fill in and play with our secondary. And then our linebacker group last year is both graduates, so we have Boogie Wells from last year, same with Jaden Proctor, and then incoming sophomore Travin Shabazz.
Jerselle, do you think last year when we played some, not that there wasn't a lack of quality, because I think it shows that the other league, if you will, the Valley League, is pretty strong as far as where those teams stand in relation to all of our teams. But after kind of putting a pasting on those guys a little bit, a lot of people got experience to play, but and the defense performs incredibly in those games late, especially all the clutch clutch moments and everything. But now with the schedule so deep, do you think that will be a matter of defensive focus and everything? Because it's every week now. I mean, not that those teams were never taking them not seriously last year, but man, this is just stacked.
Yeah, of course. We're gonna have to play every single minute of the game and lock in every single snap. We're a four-quarter team. We're not gonna give up any single drive. We're always gonna be ready for whatever's coming, especially with the tougher schedule this year. We're gonna have to be more conditioned, more ready to play, and go against better competition.
And with that being said, too, you add Mount Miguel that actually for so many years had been at a, I don't want to say at a lower level, but they just didn't quite have the coaching and the talent that they have. And all of a sudden last year, they just came out of the gate and well, they were knocking people off left and right. So that's got to be something that you would circle on your calendar, as well as Mount Miguel being one of those teams that you want to play real hard, especially.
Yeah, we're definitely really excited to play Mount Miguel. See, coming up into our league, they're trying to get a chance, but we're gonna show them competition, and it's just gonna be a great game.
Well, Max, it's not just Mount Miguel, but the two road games in league this year at Mount Miguel, at Helix. I've got to address you and Pablo Jackson. Just such a great team. You're going to have more of a workload this year, being the solo back. I'm sure you could tell me who's going to be back there with who will be the number two man. I think that was the incredible thing about your relationship, friendship, the committee, if you will. Maybe, everyone looking for a chance these days. I don't want to say it like that. Dave will argue me till he's blue in the face on the landscape of how it works right now, but he gets a great opportunity to be a star too. And we know how incredible the games have been between the Highlanders and the Eagles. Dave set it up with the Matadors, but man, that game's going to be awesome too. Not to mention all these other incredible games. Max.
Oh,
So you don't have to talk too much about Pablo, but I'm kind of asking you about Pablo.
so
For everybody, the great Pablo Jackson, the transfer from Granite Hills to Helix, who teamed with Max as an incredible tandem over the last 2 years, state champions, CIF champions. Tell me, Max.
see, right, it sucks a little bit that he left, but I'm actually I'm like most excited for that game because we got a bet going on whoever gets the most yards. We got to do a little something for them. So I'm really excited. Hopefully I can show them up. And it sucks and all, but I still see him as family, and it's both for us to both shine at both schools where we at. So honestly, I just hope the best for him and the season that he has.
Now, with that carrying that into the season, and speaking on last season, you carried a little bit more of the load as opposed to Pablo. If you look at the statistics, touchdown wise, by a couple, and then also in your yardage, did that possibly? I mean, you don't have to answer the question, but do you think that had something to do with that? Is he wasn't getting the ball as many carries, or
I wouldn't say that because he was hurt a few games. So, like some games he didn't really play. So, I
okay?
think it's more like, we both want to shine. We both want to show like what we're made of. So, him going to another, he gets more touches, more carries, and he could like go do his thing.
Those games are incredible. It's going to be great again. I know we got three. Dave wanted to say before this, we got 3 Eagles and 1 Highlander, but hey, the Eagles are the champs, man. This has been just an incredible, incredible run right now, Max, and you've been a part of it, man. These 2 years, the incredible games, of course, the championship game last year. Everybody, there were moments where you guys could have hung your heads multiple times in the last moments of the season, and then only to come through in the end. So plenty of experience. You tackle this schedule, and you got pretty awesome quarterback as well with you with Zach Benitez. So where does this offense stand, Max? 2,000 yards for you over the last 2 years, and man, Zach's development was so fast and awesome. Did you know that was coming? Obviously, you worked with him in
That's crazy.
the summer or before. Tell us how you viewed it, being the veteran that you are, a senior now, but you've obviously seen him as a young man probably before he was even a freshman superstar that now has a scholarship offered to San Diego State, by the way, as a sophomore. Man, the Eagles, we kind of needed a quarterback for a few years, and those guys were all great, and Dave will tell me these great but this guy's a star, man. You got a great offense.
Yeah. So Zach coming in, right? I already knew from the moment he came that he was going to be a great player. Like his ability to read the field and know like what to do, stay cool under pressure. That was something that I saw firsthand, and I was like, this is going to be a great season. And we also had some star receivers out there last year. We had Xander, we had Bilu, and yeah, as soon as I saw him in practices, I was like, yeah, I like him.
We got Lewis back, right? He's not giving up on playing football out there just because he's a great baseball star.
Well, sure, he's going to be playing both sports, and he's a star on baseball and a star receiver in football.
Dave, not only did the Eagles, I mentioned all these great games, but think about the quarterbacks that they beat last year. Maybe we asked Giselle, you'll ask maybe to tie it in, but last year, think about it. They beat the best quarterbacks that the county had to offer. Two guys who are going to be supposedly great stars in Julian Sayin and Akili Smith. Dave, you covered Akili Smith's dad as a football player. Think how great those guys are. And the Eagles defense that got the best of those guys in the end, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, yeah, and not to mention going back to the defense. I mean, the Eagles have been known for a great defensive core for many years, especially Coach Cobbs takes great pride in having a defense like he does. He has great schemes, and he's always had the benefit of some pretty good talent. I'm just throwing some names out there. You probably at least heard of them at some time. Keith Bishop was probably one of the best. And even on the offensive side, you're talking about quarterbacks. I mean, there was you had Siegfried a couple years back. You had Chris Allstring, and then of course our good friend that left before they turned into two quarterbacks. You know what I'm talking.
Yeah, Justice McComb and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We never got to see him. He went on to good things. How these guys look? Giselle? I'll approach it from you because you guys are going to start to see these guys a little bit. You know what they have to offer offensively. We're going to be good still with that passing game, even though we lost to Josh was such a cool receiver, man.
Yeah, honestly, going against our offense every single day, it's a great competition for us, and I gotta say that it is no easy competition either. We're fully reloaded at every single spot. Even if Pablo is gone, Max is filling the role just as he normally would, and Zach's only getting better, and so is Brendan. And we also have a couple of transfers that are really making their mark in our offense, and it's really helping our receiving core out. And I just don't think people are ready, and they're really doubting us when it comes to our receiving core. And it should not be looked down upon.
And also,
as far as,
go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to ask about is there going to be any, and of course you don't have to give away your scheme or anything like that, but how about tight ends? Is there going to be some tight end play coming into play? Of course. I mean, they're known for blocking, especially with Coach Cobbs. But I was just wondering, if you guys some great looking tight ends over there that are going to be a part of the offense as well.
Yeah, I mean, we got a team, Lathan Fry's he's come back. And I know he's not much of a bigger tight end. He's a little skinny, but he can catch the ball. I could say it. He's like really tall. He's like 7 foot or something. I don't know. But he can catch the ball.
Well, you watch a lot of the pros and then a lot of the college games, they're all going to those tight ends. I mean, whether they're big or not, if they're a tall guy, they're going to throw it up there, and guess who's going to grab the ball? And I think that gives you guys definitely an edge over some of the other squads that you will be facing. And I think one of the teams that gets lost in the shuffle we haven't mentioned yet is and they're growing and had quite a year after several years down is the Foothillers from Grossmont.
Yeah, they were pretty good last year. I mean, for what they've done in the past, they had a pretty fast-moving offense.
They had a great season.
Yeah, they had a super fast-moving offense. And honestly, like when it came to like the games where we were like thinking of taking a break, they put up some points against us and obviously showed some skill. They were not a team that taken lightly. Like going to the D3 championship, is that where they made it last year? Yeah, they had a great season.
No, they're fast developing. You guys, the home games, Dave, in league, Steel, you're always your favorite matchup of the year. These guys probably love it too, even though they know they got all these other games. Giselle, I talked about you guys defeating Sayin, defeating Smith. Those are great feathers in your cap this year. You guys faced off, we know, against Mission Hills last year, and they've got a Division I quarterback in Troy Hune, and you're going up against Cathedral as kind of the replacement on the schedule for not having another league game. Dave, you know, they have one less league game. Oh, we'll just stick Cathedral in there in the middle of the league schedule and face off against Brady Palmer. Giselle, how about these guys and some of the quarterbacks you'll face this season?
Yeah, honestly, we love going against great quarterbacks and making them nervous and throwing them out of the comfort zone. As you can see, we made Julian Sayin last year throw his first interception. Troy Hoon came out of a rocky start last year, week 1. We're just ready for any competition, and we love going against great quarterbacks and the competition that they have for us.
And Giselle, how is that defensive line looking? I mean, are we going to be putting the fear into every quarterback and collapsing on the edges, especially?
We've lost, Giselle. To be fair, on the defensive side, you talk us up because if anything, if there's any bump, we've lost some good seniors, some stars, and you mentioned the transferring. Yeah.
Our D-line definitely took a hit after this last class, but again, we have some transfers. Transfer from Cathedral, Landon. He's pretty good. We have a couple other transfers that came in, and we're trying to reload our D-line, and I think we'll do a great job at that.
You missed one person, bro.
Gavin Taylor.
We got Gavin Taylor.
Yeah, we got Gavin Taylor from LCAP. Moved down to the end, and he's pretty good. He's making a mark.
I'm gonna tell you, he's like one of the most physical people I've ever played with.
That's saying something because of the type of athlete that we're now getting at Granite Hills, Max. So let me just set that up with my question about Coach Cobbs, or not only Coach Cobbs. You could talk about all your guys, really, and that's what he's built there at Granite is his culture and way of doing things attracts coaches, and that kind of has attracted the type of athlete now that we're getting at Granite Hills. Yes, it was a homegrown spun approach to build up into this point, but we know the type of players that come now, they look to play at a school like Granite Hills. Dave, not only was Coach Cobbs the coach of the year in the county last year, he was also the teacher of the year on campus, right, guys? And named, I believe, was influential citizen of the year by the city of El Cajon. If I got that, might have been citizen of the year. Max, tell me about, we always ask about coach, and if you want to highlight your position coaches or some of these other gentlemen that have done such a great job. You're a senior. This is your moment.
All right. Okay. So let's start with Coach Smith, right? Or Kevin Smith. He came from Mount Miguel. He's my running backs coach now. And like when he came in, like he took my level of game to a whole nother level, right? And I'm just so grateful for him because I don't think last year I wouldn't have had as good as a season without him, right? Me or Pablo wouldn't have had, like, we've grown so much from his coaching and his like knowledge playing D1 ball and what he's given us, and I'm so grateful for what he's done. Coach Cobbs, right? He's a great coach, man. He's like an actual loving coach. He cares about his players, right? And he cares about his staff. And the game plans, like, he gives some great game plans for us and excels our whole team talent to another level.
And he always answers your text, Dave, on just a few minutes' notice when you always want to get a hold of the Eagles.
I will say that I've always liked that about your, and I think I see him back there.
Yeah. He's big time. He's busy. He's big timing us, so he can hear us. Go ahead, Dave.
How we doing?
We're doing good. Thanks, Coach.
All we get's a cameo these days, Dave. Go ahead. Let's talk to our star athletes.
Okay, but what I was going to mention is Coach Cobbs kind of reminds me of a younger version of Bill Belichick. I think that guy eats, sleeps, all of his schemes. He probably dreams about them and then comes up with something first thing in the morning. It does appear that he really, like you said, he cares about his players. He cares about winning. He really has some great strategies, and they change. He tweaks them a little bit every year, and if you have played them enough times, or in particular, as Ramon mentioned, is the game against Steel Canyon. That's always a game. It People say Helix, but some of those, and I'm sure you've heard about that. If you haven't played in them, most of those Steel Canyon games are always a close game. You throw the records out. Those games, they've gone into overtime. They've been in 2-point conversion with two ticks on the clock. Just tell us about when you guys play Steel, especially you, Max. I'll give you the floor on that.
Let's see. Sophomore year. Actually, our coaches always told us, do not take them lightly because they'll come and bite you. I remember sophomore year, right? We were like, we're gonna smack this team, whatever. And coach had to talk with us and said, don't take this team lightly because they've came back and beat us before. So, we came in, we smacked them respectfully. We did our thing. We played like how we were supposed to. And last year, same thing, really.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
But go ahead, Ramon.
No, please, Dave, go ahead. I was going to ask Giselle, actually, though. Did Max get all? Did you want to add anybody on your coaching mentor list? Did he get everybody that on this team, or did you have anybody that you've been?
Definitely, our DC coach Vinny. He's created a really good culture in our defense of getting 1% better every single day, and it really just ups the intensity of our defense and the aggressiveness of how we come onto the field, of wanting to get better, and it also makes us closer. So we've created a big family at Granite Hills. That's what makes us such a great team. It's the culture that Coach Vinny has created within our defense. It's a really big family aspect.
Don't forget.
You can say that again, Dave. And doing every year. I get ready right now as football starts. I look at every pro, college. I'm looking at all my high school getting it together, and this won't surprise you guys. And maybe you've seen. I ended up, Dave, and guys, I ended up going down the Vinny Sanfilippo photo. When you're down there, look at all the old photos of him and all the kids that he's tutored along the way. Dave. Rabbit hole, the picture rabbit hole, Dave. Coach Vinny, that's what he does. He's family.
What I wanted to ask, and we haven't given credit to, and I think they get lost in the shuffle, whether it be pro, whether it be at a JUCO, and I mean every level, is how about that offensive line? Let's talk them up a little bit, because without that offensive line, we're only as good as our offensive line, correct?
And yeah, go ahead, man. That's your department, Max. But also tell me this: your 4 years. I heard them making a joke with you, and when you were on with Rudy and with Bert, talking about the growth of the line and how big the JV guy. Now that your JV guys were at 4 years, has the line grown, and who are they?
Okay, so. Actually, I don't know our whole starting line.
It goes Wolf.
No, because I don't know. It's been changing, but so I know for sure Mays. We got Julian, and what?
Bailey.
That's Julian.
Oh.
Yeah. And we also got Boyce. I know for sure those three are starting, and they're dogs as ever. Mays and Boyce were there last year. They're on our starting line, and they've been. How our O line was last year, right? They were like probably the best in San Diego, right? They made the biggest holes we could go through. Pause. But there were some great O linemen, and I'd say the people that are battling for the other two spots, they're definitely just as good, because we've been growing a lot in these past few months that we've had through spring training, and now that we're starting to get pads on, right, we're gonna see who really wants to be there, who really wants to start.
Just a few days into practice, Dave, and these guys, coach is probably sitting there waiting for us to wrap it up. Practice is about to begin. So go ahead, Dave. You got anything else for the guys? I just appreciate you guys making time for us. And Dave, thank you for getting the guys to join us for our Eagles preview. I'll say it, Eagles, they're the champs, Dave. Go Eagles. Okay. Except for that Helix. I'm going to go with the Highlanders on that one, Dave.
Well, I think the Eagles have waited many decades to be on top. And like I mentioned before, you guys do have a bullseye um, on your head now, and you guys, it sounds to me, on both sides of the ball, you're up to the task.
Yeah, we're definitely ready for the season.
And anybody else you're looking forward to playing in the regular season? Uh,
Diesel.
Cathedral, we got that
The
mark.
Cathedral game, right smack in the middle. Coach, I know Coach is back there. And I know they have no choice because the way the buys work and everything. So let me just throw them in here, Dave. We'll let the guys go. They're going to scrimmage against Saints, and then interesting home game, an out-of-state opponent. They will be expected to beat Perry, Arizona in
Yeah.
that game, and we're on the road against Mater Dei, and we're hosting Eastlake. As our other games, we mentioned the at Mission Hills in the opener, versus Cathedral, and then the league games as well. So it's going to be too awesome. And Dave, look, I mean, I'm only picking the Helix because I am the Highlanders, but man, the 2 overtime game and just the last couple of games, just the way they've unfolded, just incredible. All right. Good luck, guys. Thank you so much. Dave, thank you as well. Good luck to the Eagles this season. All right. For
yeah, we appreciate your time. We know it was short. It was a little short. We had to fit you in, but we always got to fit the champs in, especially. And Granite Hills has always been an important one for me. And I just want to say good luck on the season. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you in the postseason.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Great job.
Great night.
Yep, appreciate you guys. All right. For Giselle, for Max, for Dave, I'm Ramon. Thanks for joining us.